Hi everyone, Lisa here for Trinity Stamps. Thanks for joining me for another card video. Today I'm sharing a very special 100th birthday card with you. So the first thing I did for this card was Google floral wallpaper. Yep, I know it sounds crazy, but it works. I found this amazing wallpaper pattern that I absolutely love, and I decided to use that as my inspiration. Now I'm going to be using Trinity Stamps Love You Bunches stamps and coordinating dies, and I have a piece of express blended paper in my Misty, and I'm going to stamp this image using Memento Paris Dusk ink, and I'm going to just go ahead and stamp that a couple of times just to make sure that image is nice and crisp before I start coloring on it. Now I'm going to get started with Copic markers in the RV family. Now I want these colors to be bright, and I'm going to start with this RV02 just to get the paper wet. Now once I have all the petals filled in, then I'm going to come in with RV09. Now the thing about the wallpaper pattern was it wasn't about highlights and lowlights, shading and all of this stuff. It was about defined areas. So you would have a petal that would just have this really sharp line, and it was hot pink. And then, I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous. I love the way it looked. And while mine is not going to be identical to it, I am pulling my inspiration from it. So you're going to see me here adding RV04, RV09. I come in with some black 100. I mean, I'm breaking all the rules here, really. But is that not what crafting is about? So I really went in and colored all the rest of the flowers, the other two flowers there, the same way. I used R24 on that flower to the left there, and then I used R24, R29, R59, and also 100. Then the little orange flower there on the top, I used the YR09, YR07, and YR04. Plus, I come in and do add a little bit of that black 100 and just a little bit later in the video. Now, the leaves on the this paper, it had these bright, beautiful green leaves, and they had like little tiny brown dots all over the tips of them. It was so pretty. So that's what I did with the leaves there. The big leaves, I started with Y21. I colored the whole leaf. Then I came in with G99 and only colored part of it. And then I came in with E25 and did some little dots, G85, also YG13. Like I was just plucking colors and using them to add tiny little dots. Of course, there was also a little bit of like a turquoise in this, so I decided to create some leaves that are BG18, BG78. And I'm even coming in with brown, the E25 on that, and doing those tiny little dots. I also do everything, all the leaves, not the flowers, but the leaves with black 100, tiny little dots on those too. So I'm going to go ahead and start finishing this up. I'm going to come in, and there's some tiny filler flowers there, and I'm using BG78 and BG18 and BG13 to color those in. I also come in with Y15, I do believe it is, and color the rest of those little filler leaves just to give it a little bit more color. Now, I'm loving the way this looks. I realize this look is not for everyone, but I want you to hang in there because we're actually going to take this back to the Misty and heat emboss it. And I promise you, it makes a world of difference. I absolutely love the way this turned out. So here I am. Started with Y13. It was not quite dark enough for me, and that's when I decided to come in and go over it with the Y15. Next, I'm going to come in with the B37. And I'm going to fill in all the little white areas there between the flowers and the leaves. And I am going to go completely around the whole image with that B37. And the reason that I'm doing this is I'm using a navy cardstock for my base. and I want this to blend in to that navy cardstock. So here you can see I've been going around filling in all of that, the little white areas, and tracing around that image. And it really is all about just sit down, look at a picture, and mimic that picture the best you can. Um, there's no rules that say Copic coloring has to be all about light areas and dark areas. Just sit down and have fun with your supplies. That's what I say. Okay, so now that we're just about done with this coloring, I'm going to go ahead and take this to the MISTI, and we're going to stamp it and then heat emboss it with gold. Okay, so here we are, we're back at the MISTI. Now, when I first stamped this in the beginning of the video, I did not take that stamp off the lid. Leave your stamp on your MISTI and then just set it to the side so that when you come back, you don't have to worry about if it's in the right area. You know it's exactly where you need it to be. So we just went and placed it back in the MISTI. We went ahead and made sure that our paper was snug in that corner, and we're inking this up with some Versamark ink so that we can cover it with gold embossing powder. Now I do want to mention that before I started inking this up, I did put down anti-static powder. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish inking this, and then we'll hit it up with that gold embossing powder and then heat set it. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and I heat set the image, and you can tell it's made a huge difference. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and run this through the die cut machine with the coordinating die, and there it is. It's so pretty. So last year I did some cards where I did some tone-on-tone stripes on those, and this is one of the card bases I had left over from that. I just had it tucked in with the rest of the cardstock, and it just so happens this is going to be perfect with this card. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now I'm going to go ahead and add mounting foam to the back of this and go ahead and pop it up off the front of that, and then we're going to come in with some gold foil stickers, foam stickers, and we're going to put 100 there in that top left corner. So now the ink that I used when I did that tone on tone was the same. It was the Paris Dusk ink, and I just used a stencil to create those stripes. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish this card off with some gold sequins, and then I do believe that's going to bring us to the end of this video. I really appreciate you joining me, and I hope you'll join us again. If you have any questions about the products I used, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Also, you can hop over to the Trinity Stamps website and check out the products there. And how about hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of new content coming to the channel. We appreciate you so much. Have an amazing day.